Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is America just forced Israel to give the Palestinians a state. Thus, judgment is next. Now, first of all, let me refresh your memory. We're counting down the days of the counting of the Omer, which is the 49 days between First Fruits and Pentecost. First Fruits is April 25th. Pentecost is June 13th. So, if you're watching this Friday, the 10th, this would make today the 35th day, meaning 35 days are left. Now, with that in mind, I'll refresh your memory. Leslie was told that Israel will give the Palestinians a state, and the headline will be Omer ushers in Palestinian state. We do not know exactly where the headline is going to appear. My guess is, based upon what I said yesterday in her dream, it's probably the Jerusalem Post. That'll be at least the first place we look. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Now, all of these 22 years since we've known this, I have been wondering, so how can America force Israel to give the Palestinians a state? Is this some kind of behind the curtains, under the table, secret little twisting of the arm saying, if you don't do this, then there's a big problem? Well, now we know. The answer is because we removed their offensive weapons, so they have no choice. As you know, Biden has come on and said, even though our Congress appropriated the money to send the weapons on over, Biden is not sending them. And now, I've heard a lot of people, I've got a lot of emails, a lot of links saying that Obama is really the guy that's running the country. He's really the guy behind Obama that's pulling his strings like a puppet. Well, I don't think a Christian would ever go against and hurt Israel, not a real Christian. And of course, Biden claims to be a Catholic. Now, I know that there are some Catholics that are Christians. There are some Catholics that don't claim to be Christian, okay? But if he is a normal, good Catholic, he would not be turning against Israel. So that makes me think that maybe the Muslim Obama, or Barry Soetoro, if you want to know his real name, is really behind this. But nevertheless, it's still going to kill millions of people in a massive New Madrid earthquake. And we don't know how bad it's going to be, whether it's just going to be a small earthquake, or whether it's going to be a total meteor hitting Mona Island and sending a 200 to 400 foot tsunami up the East Coast and splitting the Great Lakes down to the Gulf of Mexico and chunks of California, falling into the ocean all the way up into Alaska. I mean, there's a lot of different pictures, dreams, vision people have had on the internet. I've covered that. So we don't know how bad it's going to get, but I think it is safe to say this is the problem. Now, why do I say this? I guess this is about 4 days ago. This is 4 days before we heard that Biden was going to hold up the shipment of arms to Israel. It kept coming to me that Israel is out of ammo. Now, it wasn't an audible voice, it wasn't a dream, it wasn't a vision, it sure wasn't an angel visit. But I like what Leslie says. She says, if you're walking with the Lord close enough, you shouldn't have to have a dream or a vision or an audible voice to know and recognize the voice of the Lord. Now, before I do every program, I always pray the same prayer. Lord, help me say the right words. Do not let me say the wrong words. And there have been times where all of a sudden it comes to me, this one word or this one phrase I should not have said. And I will send over an email to the lady that edits saying, okay, this phrase here, take it out. There's been a few times where I said, take out 2 or 3 minutes of worth. But it comes to me here. In other words, we're supposed to be able to hear God's voice here. And it's not here. It's not even always in a dream or vision. But the ultimate still voice, that's what we're supposed to be hearing. So it came to me about 4 days before that Israel is actually out of ammo. That's the reason she pulled out of the whole Gaza attack. And that's the reason she has not gone into Rafah yet. Now, I know some people say, yeah, well, she has dropped pamphlets. She's got tanks in on the outskirts of Rafah. At least the president says that we're not in, that Israel's not in Rafah yet. I think what is happening is Israel is out of ammo, and they can't do anything more to go in and get their hostages back and to remove Hamas. They can't do anything more unless America supports them. You remember Chris Reed was told, audible voice, that said, so goes Israel, so goes America. Meaning, if we can't get rid of if Israel can't get rid of their enemies, we won't be able to get rid of ours. If Israel can't go after and stop the people that has killed and raped and plundered and beheaded Jews, we aren't going to be able to go after the people that kill and rape and plunder us. So goes Israel, so goes America. So apparently that's exactly what has happened. The article says, Biden warns Israel, U.S. won't supply weapons to attack Rafah. Well, why not? Rafah attacked them. Rafah, well, here, I'll read the article. President Joe Biden says he will not supply offensive weapons to Israel, that they could use them to launch an all-out assault on Rafah. Well, good for Israel. Go for it. This is my opinion. They aren't, my opinion doesn't count, though. The last major Hamas stronghold in Gaza over concern of the well-being of more than 1 million civilians sheltering there. Well, you don't want to know my opinion. Stan, shut up. You're going to have them cut out something out of the program again. So, I'll keep reading without my opinion. Biden, in an interview with CNN Wednesday, said the U.S. was still committed to Israel's defense and would supply Iron Dome rocket interceptors and other defensive arms, but that if Israel goes into Rafah, we're not going to supply the weapons and artillery shells used. So there it is. In other words, America forces Israel to give the Palestinians a state because we don't send weapons. Now, I'm going to show you an article here in just a second. The money for the weapons that we're sending was not just approved here the last few weeks. This was several years back. So apparently, America's been holding back weapons supposed to have been sent to Israel for now several years, not a couple of weeks, okay? That's a problem. The U.S. has historically provided enormous amounts of military aid to Israel. That's right, and we've been blessed because of it. That has only accelerated in the aftermath of the Hamas October 7th attack that killed some 1,200 people in Israel and led to about 250 people being taken captive by militants. Biden's comments, now what is this saying? So goes Israel, so goes America. So this same kind of thing God is going to bring on us, or worse. Biden's comments in his decision last week to pause the shipment of heavy bombs to Israel are the most striking manifestations of the growing daylight between his administration and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government. And of course, Schumer has openly called for the resignation and new elections in Israel. And he's a Jew, or says he is. He may be of the synagogue of Satan. Those that say they're Jews or not, go read Revelation chapter 2 and 3. Both has two different examples. The shipment was supposed to consist of 1,800 2,000-pound bombs, 1,700 500-pound bombs, according to a senior U.S. administration official. The focus of the U.S. concern was the larger explosives and how they could be used in a dense urban area. Well, wait a minute. These are people that are not even supposed to be on Israeli land. And then they're killing Israelis? Shut up, Stan. Go on. I made it clear. If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah, to deal with the cities that deal with that problem. We're not walking away from Israel's security. Yes, you are. Biden continued, we're walking away from Israel's ability to wage war in those areas. In other words, ability to wage war on the people that killed them, the people that raped them, the people that have taken 250 of their people hostage and still not released them. If we stop weapons necessary to destroy the enemies of the state of Israel at a time of great peril, we will pay a price, said Senator Lindsey Graham, and that great price is going to be a new Madrid earthquake, and it could be so bad that the Great Lakes open up all the way down to the Mississippi, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, it could kill millions of people. His voice rising in anger during an exchange with Austin. This is obscene. It is absurd. Give Israel what they need to fight the war that they can't afford to lose. I totally agree. Then we have another Jew that says he's Jew, but probably not. He's probably the synagogue of Satan, Bernie Sanders. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, a Biden ally, said, "Our leverage is clear. Over the years, the United States has provided tens of billions of dollars in military aid to Israel. We can no longer be complicit in Netanyahu's horrific war against the Palestinian people." Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Okay, Israel didn't start this war. Israel was attacked, and we're simply sending them promised and paid for and allotted money for the weapons to defend themselves. Next article. No choice but to impeach Biden over delayed Israel aid, GOP senator says. The Democratic-led House's impeachment of then-President Trump in 2019 indicted him on a charge of abuse of power, arguing he withheld aid to Ukraine while asking the country's leaders to investigate his political rivals, including Biden. The Senate acquitted Trump on the House's charges. Now, Cotton argued the same precedent should apply to Biden, and of course it should. As they say, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But we live in a bipolar world where it's not the same justice for all. Per the official, none of these shipments have anything to do with the Israeli supplemental appropriations passed last month. What? All are drawn from previously appropriated funds some many years ago. What that tells me is we've been holding up shipments of arms to Israel for many years that should have been sent many years ago. Okay, so what we've really been doing is turning our back on Israel quietly for a long time. State of Palestine could be recognized by UN General Assembly on Friday. I was going to put this article in there, but I got a really big yawn like, nope, it ain't going to happen. Not yet. It's coming, but not there, apparently. Now let's talk about the angry bear. And I love this site, War News 24/7. This is the front page of it, and you really like going there. All right, let's go. First article, Putin from Red Square said, okay, so now he's speaking to the nation. He says, nuclear forces in combat position. We will not allow anyone to threaten us. Okay, now he didn't say we won't allow anybody to destroy us, meaning that he's going to wait until the first bomb is heading his way before he sends off another one. What they're saying and how they have changed their military doctrine is if they feel threatened, then they will attack. We're not going to let anyone threaten us. Look at his words. He means it. The article goes on to say that Russia will do everything to avoid a clash of world powers, but will not allow anyone to threaten it. It didn't say anyone to defeat it. It didn't say anyone to attack it. So if Russia feels threatened, they will use nuclear weapons. Putin was addressing Russian soldiers of all ranks in the Red Square. He said, our strategic forces are always in a state of combat readiness. Well, not back in Perestroika and Glasnost, not back in the 80s and 90s when you were broke. But now they found oil. Now they got lots of money. The TV presenter has guaranteed ability to hit a target anywhere on the planet. And Russia just proved that because the missiles that got through and actually hit Israel were not Iran missiles. They were Russian missiles. So Russia has already attacked Israel. Next article, generals demand a tough show of power from Putin. They recommended hitting a mercenary center in Ukraine with nuclear missiles. Nuclear missiles? Now, I'm going to show you in these next few articles here that Russia is planning on using nuclear missiles possibly any day now. It says NATO must understand that we are not bluffing. The INF treaty is over. Okay, and it's going to explain that in just a second. So Russia's hawk suggested to Putin to proceed with a tough demonstration of the country's nuclear capabilities. So they're talking about using nukes. Now, these are the smaller ones and using them on Ukraine. dropping a small nuclear bomb on a mercenary center in Ukraine. Mercenary. Well, who are those? Well, probably among them are Americans, Brits, French, and maybe some other people that are not Ukraine. It's time for a hard lesson for the West to give some time to evacuate civilians before the tactical bomb is dropped. Okay, so they are planning on using nukes in Ukraine. That's what they're saying. One in western Ukraine and one in Donetsk. They're talking about two. But you didn't hear this on any of the news. Russia's tactical nuclear reserve, they are boosting it big time. They are, in other words, while America, and I'm not sure of this, I'm not in position to really know, but my guess is America has not made a nuclear weapon probably since the 70s, 80s. I'm just guessing. But what this article is saying is Russia has not only continued to make them, but they're now boosting their manufacturing of nuclear weapons. Let's go on. There's a high probability that the flight of the MiG-31, even in the Kinzhal nuclear warhead, will not impress the West. What did they just say? They just said even if we use a nuke or two, that's not going to impress the West. We've got to really hit them hard. Because of the limit of pain, so to speak, we will not be exceeded, and without pain, the West will not get the message. What are they saying? They're saying we're going to do more than one or two. We're about to start using a bunch of nukes, and that opens the door, a big bad door. And like Dmitry was told, the fall of America would start with an internal revolution in America, started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and two of the countries will attack and defeat America in 1 day and 1 hour. So great riches will come to naught. This is planning our fall. If these are simple exercises, then NATO will escalate again with arms and troop deployments. What they're saying is we're going to have to hit America specifically and the West really hard and first. Military exercises with tactical nuclear weapons should definitely discourage NATO into realizing that it will find itself in immediate nuclear war. This is a Russian website. And it's too bad more people in the American government are not reading it. Through the nuclear exercises, Russia wants to send a message to the West that, quote, everyone who is preparing for a conventional battle is wrong. What? Everyone who is preparing for a conventional battle is wrong. What Russia is saying, they're about to use nukes. They're not kidding. And they got more, and they're better, and they're faster, and we can't stop them. Russia will routinely use routinely? Read it again. Russia will routinely use nuclear weapons with limited and predetermined impact zones to eliminate troop and weapons concentrations without firing a single conventional missile. What? What they just said was, we're about to stop using conventional bombs, and we're going to start using nothing but nukes. I'll read it again. Everyone who's preparing for a conventional battle is wrong. In other words, the old style bombs, no, we're not going to use those anymore. Russia will let me read it again. Russia will routinely use nuclear weapons with limited and predetermined impact zones to eliminate troop and weapons concentrations without firing a single conventional missile. You know what that just said? The old battles using conventional missiles are over. We are about to start using nothing but nuclear missiles. That's what it said. Read it. The press representative B. Putin emphasized that the statements of representatives of the collective West require a responsible, immediate, and effective response from the Russian side. Notice it said require. We have to do this. That's their thinking. These are unprecedented statements from the West that require a quick response. So the things that the West is saying, whatever they're saying that apparently we aren't hearing, Russia is taking that as war. The upcoming exercises in the Southern Military District to test the use of tactical nuclear weapons are directly related to the belligerent statements of the French president and the head of the British Foreign Office. So we, the Brits and the French, are about to get hit with nuclear weapons. That's what they're saying. Exercises using tactical nuclear weapons will be a response to pressure from the West on Russia. So Russia feels like it's got a very good reason for using tactical nukes. Now, what's a tactical nuke? The one that hit Nagasaki and Hiroshima, if I remember right, one was 1 kiloton, one was 4 kiloton. Those were small ones. They have them today that I think I'm saying this correct, 350 kilotons. There's a scripture that says the earth is moved at the taking of Babylon. So when Russia uses these vastly powerful nuclear weapons to destroy America in 1 day and 1 hour, it literally changes the orbit of the earth. That's pretty powerful. We hope that this exercise will calm down the hotheads in Western capitals and help them to understand the potentially dangerous consequences of the strategic risks they create. We're causing this. And the problem with that is we probably are causing it. The potentially dangerous consequences of the strategic risks they create prevent them from aiding the Kyiv regime in its terrorist actions and not to be drawn into immediate armed confrontations with Russia. Late in the evening, Russia announced an increase in the production of medium short-range missiles in response. So we've started making them. That's what this says. I question it. In response to the U.S. violation of the INF Treaty. That's the International Nuclear, I can't remember the other one is. It's later in the article. If American missile systems appear anywhere in the world, Russia will end the unilateral moratorium on their development. Probably that's already happened, truth be known. The United States has openly violated the INF Treaty by developing medium and short-range ground-based missile systems, preparing them for development in Europe and Asia-Pacific region. The United States is running and testing new missile systems during exercises with NATO. We reserve the right, they say, to respond symmetrically, which will mean an end to the unilateral Russian moratorium on the development of these weapons. It will not take long to make more, is what they're saying. The Russian work is progressing very quickly. They are making more nuclear weapons as fast as they can make them. So the term INF, here it is, refers to an intermediate range nuclear force missile. These are ballistic missiles or cruise missiles with ranges between 500 and 5,500 kilometers or 3,417 miles. I didn't figure that up, but my guess is it's saying, yeah, America, we can hit you. So what Henry Gruver said is he saw it takes less than 60 seconds from launch to detonation, and they don't come from Russia, and instead they come from submarines parked on our beaches. Next article. British. Russia puts a second warhead on the KH-101 cruise missiles. So Russia is doing everything they can. In this article, it tells you that they are loading to the hilt with nuclear weapons. Russia right now is planning on a secret attack on America, so says the prophecies. On top of that, skirmishes in the TOS-1 and Kasov Yar, the Russians cut the city in two and are pounding the Ukrainian units with thermobaric bombs. That's just my understanding. I'm not a military guy, but my understanding is just under the power of a nuclear weapon. And they're using them in Ukraine. I think they're all tests. They're all preparations to use in America. The Ukrainians threw in the towel. The 47th Division captured Ivanovka, and it's advancing towards the heart of Kapyansk, meaning Russia says it's won. And I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to put up just the text here. And I've already read this many times, so let me just refresh your memory. If you haven't read it, pause and read it. This is basically saying that the Russian bear is going to grow angry and powerful and strong, and that when NATO comes down to attack it, it's going to be like men fighting off a giant bear with sticks. Ask Jesus to forgive your sins. Ask Jesus to come into your heart and be your God. Run out of time to do so. Let me talk about our 3 sponsors briefly. First, if you want to get gold or silver, we're going to send you to 800-200 gold or prophecyclubgold.com. prophecyclubgold.com. Second, if you want to get long-term emergency food, the only place I would send you to is josephskitchen.com. It is what I believe is God's long-term storage food. As you recall, Pharaoh and Joseph, what fed the world for 7 years was wheat. Most of your long-term storage places, $9,000 to $10,000 to feed one person for 1 year. Joseph's Kitchen can show you how to do it for about $1,000, one person, 1 year. And EMP Shield. If you want your car to start, if you want your computers to start after some kind of nuclear event, that's the device to get. And if you go to empshield.com and use the promo code PROPHECY, get your $50 discount and helps your Prophecy Club. I've not talked about our books for a long time, so I'm going to take a minute and explain them. First of all, I think this is the very best book that I've ever written, and it's called The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, but it does not have the word rapture in it, does not discuss it. This is only talking about Bible prophecy. So the story is, in 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I got 30 revelations, 2 visions, and an audible voice. God showed me the word first fruits is a secret door that links Revelation and the feasts, showing the correct chronological order of Revelation. One prophetic word says there is a lock that I put over a word in the book of Revelation. I'm going to open it to you, and it will turn many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Then I next wrote Miss the Mark. And it's for anyone. It's simple. It's if they read 3 pages, they'll read the whole book. They read the whole book, they will never take the mark of the beast. Also, this Tribulation Secrets in Daniel is just the most important parts of Daniel that someone living in a tribulation needs to know. These are the best prophecies from the last 32 years of studying and teaching Bible prophecy from Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldale, Leslie Johnson, Henry Groover, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and more. Each set of these, in other words, this is a set of 10, a set of 10, a set of 5, a set of 10, a set of 5. It's a total of 40 books. You can get one set of each, 40 books, for a gift of $100 at prophecyclub.com. We also put together a Watchman's package, which contains 2 2-foot by 3-foot charts, and my handwritten book of Revelation, 5 DVDs on the School of the Watchman, and 5 of the copies of Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, all valued at $355 for a gift of $200. prophecyclub.com.